Hello, everyone. This is AT&T 360. I'm your host, Rike Fonofe, and this is Aviation Insight. And with me is a lovely gentleman, a man we know. His name precedes him. But before I let the cat out of the bag, let's go for a short break. Okay, welcome back. This is still AT&T 360, where we do aviation, travels, and tourism report. And with me is a humble gentleman. He is Mr. Olumide Onwayo, General Secretary, Aviation Safety Roundtake Initiative Arts. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, straight to the point, sir, can you share your journey in aviation safety and what led you to this specialized area in this field?
Well, my name is Olumide Onwayo. I joined the industry in 1993, fresh from NYSC. And then thereafter, I went to Nigerian Airways, the now registered federal government-owned carrier. We were the first set of graduates that were employed then to join Nigerian Airways, and we're taking 10 from each state of Nigeria. And after some time, I moved from the cabin service department, which is also part of operations of the airline, to the flight dispatch, and there I was moved to marketing department of the airline. And from that marketing on, I went on to work with Capital Airlines. I worked with some consultancy companies in preparing documents for airlines, and preparing flight schedules and dispatch. Thereafter, I joined the Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative as a member, became Assistant General Secretary after some time, and today I'm General Secretary of that body. The body itself is it's over 20 years in the industry, pushing safety and regulations within the industry. It's an NGO that deals with the improvement of safety and profitability within the industry. So it's an encompassing body. Not only safety, we also look at the comfort of the passengers, we look at the profitability, and look at the general operations and services in the industry to ensure that as the airlines are getting safe, so are the players making some revenue and also trying to break even.
Okay, that's beautiful. That's a whole span of 20 years. So you're fully experienced.
Well, if you say that, then I take it.
Okay, so with this experience that you have, what do you see as the biggest safety challenges facing the aviation industry?
Well, you see, there's no Nigerian aviation, and when you look at safety and accidents, incidents around the world, we are still faring better. Yes, we may not be 100%, but then we are faring better when you compare us to our peers, when you compare us with what you've been hearing around the world. You've heard the recent accidents in Asia,
Yes.
India, Europe,
Yeah.
in America, and you can see aircraft dropping. But then by the time you look at the percentage of aircraft flying in some of those countries compared to the accidents, you still find that some of the countries rejoicing are really not as good as the ones we have seen with so much accident and incident. But then, going back to your question, I think the greatest impediment to absolute safety right now is still the human error part of it. The human error still takes a chunk of most accidents and incidents. And then, as you know, in the industry, when an accident happens, you need to go through the process of investigation, and thereafter, they come up with their preliminary report, and after the preliminary report, they come up with the final report to say what was wrong, and then you move into a recommendation how to prevent a reoccurrence.
Okay, that's actually beautiful. You know, when you talk about human errors, you're talking about people that
We're talking about the pilots,
Yeah, the pilot.
the engineer, the co-pilot, the air traffic controller.
okay,
The load sheet person who loaded the aircraft.
okay,
There's so many humans involved in that operation. Even the cabin crew
Hmm.
can also be indicted in an accident and incident.
okay. So that's actually great. With the emergence of AI technology, has it made any impact when it comes to aviation safety?
Make no mistake, AI is a technology, and like any other industry, It's not aviation alone. Any other industry that deals with science, that deals with technology, that deals with equipment, it's inevitable that you have to deal with the barrage and the improvements that AI has brought into technology. Today, the industries can only run efficiently and have improved safety with the aid of AI. AI is in all facets of aviation operations services. Is it to help for fuel efficiency? Is it to help in the manufacturing of aircraft? Is it to help with the manufacturing of engines of the aircraft? Is it the air navigation? When talking about air traffic controllers, it all facets of the industry, or operational part of the industry. You have the AI technology there that is helped to improve, most importantly, safety and efficiency of the airlines. All operators want is efficient management of resources to provide the necessary benefits of investing in services. And that is why, from the manufacturers of the engines, the manufacturers of the aircraft, the air traffic controllers, even the fuel supply, now you see that they're moving from the Jet A1 now to the revised SAF fuel. This kind of fuel is one that some are using vegetables, some are using some agro products to just ensure that they reduce the cost of fueling of the aircraft, and also to reduce emission in the atmosphere. So this in all of this, AI has always led the way in the testing and verifying that if some of these things can work. Again, we are looking at this, then we can get into electric or even solar panel aircraft. All these are still in the work.
When you talked about solar, I said, are we safe without solar? Is this it's an idea for now?
It's an idea for now. It's an idea, and it's an idea that is already started. It will not normally, when such things come in, when this kind of inventions come in, they don't start with the big passenger planes. They always start with the smaller ones. Use that to test run it, and after some time, they begin to increase the size of the aircraft. See how it can work with such and then before it then comes. And moreover, you see, before an aircraft is used for the commercial operation to carry passengers, it goes through a lot of testing and accreditation by competent regulatory bodies. I back my word, bodies, not body, from the European to the American, and most of any country you want to take that aircraft to. The other aircraft must have been certified by even the country of origin, and also the country that wants to that they want to operate in, that this aircraft is fit and safe to fly. So people don't just go and buy just like you buy your car. There's documentations for every aircraft you want to buy. There's a history of that aircraft, and all this will be verified and monitored and ensure they comply with the international recommended practices of ICAO and all other regulatory institutions around the world.
Okay, so when it comes to accreditation, how long does it take for a plane to be endorsed? How long does it take
let me tell you, there's the regular process and there's the political process. Well, let me tell you about the political process. Let me start with the political process. And that political process, that if you look at the behemoth of Boeing in the US and the Airbus in Europe, they are preventing the Russian manufactured, the Chinese manufactured, the Japanese manufactured aircraft to join those duopoly. And you see, once the FAA in America and the aviation agency does not certify your aircraft, you definitely would have difficulty in selling those aircraft, that aircraft, to majority of the countries around the world. I mean the big ones. I mean, if you have to sell in Europe, you need the European certification. You have to sell within America, you need the FAA, and all these are there. So most times, if the Chinese are forced to sell to do the aircraft, sell their Sukhoi has been ready, but they are having difficulty marketing it around the world, getting certification from the Western countries. So what they are doing is to sell to their countries, and countries that they are allies who believe in the certification issued by the Chinese authority, and that is what they are using now to at least begin to push that aircraft. The Japanese have tried to join the aircraft manufacturing, but then they have to now go back to just the smaller aircraft for private jets and general aviation aircraft. The Russians have their own, the Ilyushin, but then nobody buys those aircraft because they are seen as old model. They don't have the technology, And what we're talking about, like, probably we are sure that maybe the AI facility that we're having today in the aviation industry has not even got into that Russian-made aircraft. So that aircraft did not go beyond the Russian Federation and its fellow communist countries. So since the break up of the communist country, the Elysian aircraft has been restricted to the Russian Federation and maybe some of the smaller countries around Russia.
Okay, so that's very good information for.
But going back to the certification, is once you start the process from the products, from the assembling and the engines, as you're doing those testings, you have to carry and you ensure that the regulators are carried along to inspect this. It's not that they come when the aircraft is ready. At every stage of the building of the aircraft, the regulators are involved in inspection and in testing to ensure that the aircraft meets with the required safety strength and endurance and all that qualities and facilities that you are selling to the public, that this is what the aircraft can do, such as the distance, the load, the landing and the takeoff weight, the payload, and the fuselage strength, fuel consumption, distance it can cover, and routes it can cover, the temperature, altitude. All these are part of the testings that the manufacturers and you see, for the aircraft, it's not done in one country. Most of the parts are done in different countries and then brought to a country for assembling. And in that process, the regulators are part of the process, testing as these parts are being put together or coupled together to become a full body. And even when the aircraft is full, it still has to go through some flying and testing hours before it's certified fit to fly.
Wow, that will take some years or so, for that to take off. Okay, so
it's not a matter of days.
No, a matter of 6 months.
No. It takes years.
Years.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So, what is your process for investigating an aviation safety incident? How do you ensure lessons are implemented?
Well, it's not how it's how the system, it's how the system is arranged to take care of such. What happens once there's an accident or a serious incident? Then the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, formerly AIB, Accident Investigation Bureau, takes over in the investigation process. But if it's a minor incident, then the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, who is the regulator of the industry, are the one that will initiate the investigation. Even the one done by the NSIB, which is a serious incident or accident, the NCA still has a role to play in the process of investigation, because the regulator will definitely have to come. The investigator will documentation and information with respect to the aircraft, the pilots, and other engineers and other required information from the regulator. So let's start with the serious incident. If there's a serious incident that it requires that any serious incident or accident in the industry, then the NSIB, the investigator, takes over. And in that process, they come with with their team to decide. It is advised that the site of the incident is left sterile, so that the evidence will not be tampered with, pending when you have the clearance from this investigator that you can go there and touch some things and take things out or move things. So the investigator starts that process, and in the process, they would have to call, if it's an airline, they would have to call for the records of the operators, both the crew, the aircraft itself, and any other incident or serious incident that have occurred of late or before from that particular organization. After they have gone through their investigation, they come out with a preliminary report, which can take about 3 months, 2 months, depending on how smooth or how quick they handle the investigation. The preliminary report comes out, and most times the preliminary report is always advisory. It's either advisory or giving a clue into what must have happened. Thereafter, we wait for the full report. When the full report comes, it comes with cause of the accident or serious incident and recommendations for to guide against reoccurrence. The idea of investigation initially and until today is not punitive, but to guide against recurrence. But for some countries, they are now taking human error as a serious violation, and such aviation personnel found to be culpable are taken to court in some countries. But for us in Nigeria, we are still with the mantra of using the investigative process to guide against reoccurrence. And so when that report comes out and this recommendation, it is submitted to the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, who has the authority to implement those recommendations. And in some cases, if it's something that is noticed that is peculiar to an aircraft, then the aircraft manufacturer is called in almost all incidents. Aircraft manufacturer and the country of the country of manufacture of the aircraft, or the country that owns the aircraft, are all involved in the investigative process. So if it's something that you know that it has to do with mechanical and this can happen to another airline, then there's what they call the airworthiness directives that is issued worldwide for other users or owners of such aircraft to guide against. That's for the airworthiness directives if it has to do with mechanical. But if it's other issues relating to within the environment or the country where that accident or incident has happened, then the regulator would now have to take the recommendations either to the operator, to the airport, or to any other agencies that was found to have been negligent that led to that accident. So this is how it works. And once this is done, you will pray that recommendations are implemented immediately, because it becomes a wasteful effort when the accident investigator drops his report. The reports are there and it is not implemented to guide against recurrence. It's something that's it's seen in some countries. It's something that used to happen in the past in Nigeria, and it's something that we hope will not come back again. We want when the reports are out, the recommendations to be implemented immediately and not keeping it down in the shelf, in one of the shelves in the offices there.
Okay, so when this report comes out and we find out it's human negligence, what happens from there? Probably the pilots or...
Well, you can be sure but he will be sanctioned as a professional. Okay. He'll probably have to lose his license, and any other action that the regulators deem fit and within the regulation will be meted to the person, to the pilot or the professional who caused that accident. Again, if it's the airline itself who is negligent, they also get sanctioned. They are either fined or grounded for some time until when correctional measures are taken and put in place to ensure that there will be no reoccurrence.
Let's take this incident of the Air India flight 171 Boeing 787 Dreamliner that crashed shortly after the takeoff from Sadar. That's in the international airport in Ahmedabad in India. Yeah. So just take us in that journey. Can you just share an insight when it comes to safety?
Well, all passengers were on board 246 or 42. 240 something passengers.
230 passengers and 12 crew.
Crew, yeah. Now, only one passenger survived.
Yes.
That crash, and also some souls were lost on ground. These were the students who were in their hostel having lunch when the aircraft plunged into the building. The aircraft was departing for England. There was an international flight who had many different nationals of different countries on board, and barely a minute or two after takeoff, when it was supposed to ascend, it now started descending. When it was supposed and it lost power, started descending, and it descended out of control of the crew, because definitely no crew would have landed an aircraft that is a control on a building. Everybody's trying to avert, so they always look for the safest place where they can minimize casualties. But in this case, you see that the crew lost control of the aircraft and the aircraft plunged, and there's under investigation. Now, under investigation in the industry, you are not allowed. It is not fair to speculate until when you get a preliminary report. There's the story about the fuel switch
Yes.
being inadvertently turned off, and you can see the manufacturer said no, that switch does not turn off inadvertently. That they have it on that all of their products, and it has never failed. But there was that argument between the pilot and the captain when the pilot asked the captain, "Sir, are you the one that turned off the fuel switch?" And the man said no. So if the fuel switch was supposed to supply fuel to the engine at cut off supply, definitely power to the engines will be reduced and the aircraft will go down. But it's still subject to investigation. And since we are yet to get a report, I think I don't want to speculate on what might have caused the accident. It's a pity and that it happened. May God grant rest to the souls of those departed. I'm also happy that the Air Indian management have gone ahead to visit the families of those who died. They have promised to pay the compensations as required by law as quickly as possible, and they've opened up centers to help with the psychological and other related issues that would have that those who died have left behind can get suited with, so that they are dealing with different teams sent to different parts of the country to meet with families of the passengers, and I think that I give to them. But again, there's a need for India to begin to look inward at some issues relating to safety. A lot of things is coming up in the media now, but this is not the appropriate time for me to start talking about it. Just for us to say, okay, it has happened. We must not allow this to happen anymore. Happen again. So.
Okay, thank you very much. To all our listeners and viewers, please do not forget to follow us, subscribe, and like on all our social media handles on X, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So, sir, when it comes to Nigeria, so far so good. From 2024 to 2025, we've not had any specific aircraft incidents, and it's actually a plus for us. What do you think we can do to improve on that?
We've had an aircraft excursion. One of the airlines had it in Port Harcourt recently. We've also had one of the non-scheduled operators to overshooting the runway in I think Ibadan and one other city. I can't get that now. But when we look at the overall performance of the aviation industry, when it comes to safety, we are not doing badly. We can do better, and we must not rest on our hours. And in order for us not to rest on our hours, that's why you see that we have this regular inspection and audit by ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, and the Federal Airport Authority of America, the FAA. We once had the Category 1 certification, and then at the moment we have lost it because we don't have any airline operating into the US over a period of time, and because of that longevity in operation, that's how we lost it. Not because we are not safe, but once you don't operate, you lose it. It is not a share that you can say, once you have it, you own it. The certification is always renewed and maintained, and in maintaining, you must operate. So that all the other indices that you have used to get that certification will also be measured during that period. Because we're not operating, we have lost it, and we can get it back, or we will also get it back. On the ICAO certification, we passed the ICAO audit, and that shows that we have met with the minimum standard required by the International Civil Aviation Organization, and we not only met it, we surpassed it. But then we didn't do too well because there had some gaps that was noticed, and we were asked to go and correct them. And most of those gaps have been worked upon and has been corrected, and that has made us still have that good books on safety related issues. By and large, we still have a lot of work to do in the industry. It's not yet guru. We still need to work on our air navigation. We need to work on the runways. We need to work on the lightnings on the air side, which aids aircraft in taking off and landing. All these are part of safety issues that we need to work on. We also need to continue to improve the training of the air traffic controllers. There's a need to there's that gap that needs to be filled by the air traffic control. We just can't continue to allow people who have retired to continue to take them back on contract and not get your younger people to fit in and reduce the workload of those who are there. So there's still a list of work to be done to improve safety in the industry, and I think we should not rest on our oars.
Okay, I'll call this good news. I just went through some news and I saw that Cross River has acquired 2 aircraft to boost tourism. Should we start clapping? Should we say yes? We're moving to
Well, if you
a greater place.
yeah, if you look at the fears that we're seeing in the industry at the moment, from the passenger side, we want to say the more, the merrier, and the more seats we have, the lower the fares. It's on that basis I will welcome Cali Air. Cali Air now has joined Akwa Ibom Air, owned by the state government, and Enugu Air that was launched about 3 weeks ago by the Honorable Minister of Aviation. Now, those 3 states have started their own airline. Though the other 2, that's Enugu and Cali, are yet to complete the process. They don't have their AOC, Air Operating Certificate yet. Okay. They don't have it. But IBOM has it, and IBOM is particularly impressive. IBOM is they have a total aviation ecosystem. They have the airline, they have the airport, they build their own airport, and also have a very big maintenance repair hangar that they're planning to get on stream. If that hangar comes on stream, that's more revenue for them, reduce foreign exchange drain, which will carry aircraft outside Nigeria. That will be reduced by the coming to operation of that IBOM Air, and that's for IBOM. Now for Cali had just started and brought in this aircraft. Their documentations are not ready, so those aircraft will be placed with aero contractors for now. Aero contractors, and I think ValueJet will be the one managing. ValueJet will manage their CRJ, while Aero is managing their Boeing 737s. So they'll be managing those aircraft pending when the documentations are ready. When the documentations are ready, then those aircraft will now be fully owned, operated by Cali Air, which is owned by the Cross River State government. It's the same scenario with Enugu Air. Enugu Air has aircraft on ground. They have about 3 aircraft on ground now, and the 3 aircraft are with one of the executive jets. The executive jets. That's the airline managing those aircraft to them, pending when they have their own AOC. Now we're happy that the state government are at least investing in air transportation. Enugu has even gone further to negotiate for the ownership and management on the concession basis, the Enugu airport. They've been investing money in it. Sometimes this year, the airport was shut down because of the poor runway, and it was Enugu State government that brought out the funding to fix that issue, and they are also bidding to manage their airport for a long time, for maybe about 35 to 40 years ahead. But let us see. What we want is a good airport that can provide services for the airline and its passengers. And I don't care who manages it or who owns it. What we want is a good airport.
Okay, yeah. So right now, Heathrow is proud to welcome Nigeria's largest carrier, that's Airpeace Limited, to Terminal 3, and couple of months from now on, it's going to be launched, and I'm thinking, what's the impact of such news to the aviation sector?
I think we should start from when the impact of when Airpeace started operating the London flight.
Okay.
Before then, there was virtually no Nigerian airline on the London route. We had the British Airways and Virgin Atlantic. Those were the 2 airlines that were coming directly from London, direct flight. While other airlines, Egypt Air, Emirates, Qatar, Rwanda Air Maroc, Ethiopian Airlines, were carrying London passengers through their country. It's only British Airways and Virgin. Even Lufthansa, I forgot the European airlines, Lufthansa, Air France, KLM were all carrying London passengers through the country. But Virgin and British Airways were the ones that were carrying directly. Nigeria has a strong population in England, and it's a market that can absorb. And that's what the bilateral we have on that route is 2 airlines from each country and 21 flights a week. For a long time now, British Airways have been using the 14 of the 21, 7 to Lagos, 7 to Abuja. Virgin Atlantic is using the other 7, and they both been pushing for more frequencies. Nigeria has been resisting. Now Airpeace has joined. Now Airpeace has taken only 7 on the Lagos London, which they're operating to Gatwick, which they started about sometime last year, and for now it's been a success story. They've also been agitating to go to Heathrow for a long time. The opening was not given to them. They kept pushing until the president minister came into office and ensured he wrote a letter, used the diplomatic notes, put his foot down, and luckily he's a lawyer. He could not be bamboozled by laws or diplomatic immunity to push what he wanted, and he was able to get the Heathrow slot for Airpeace, and that's kudos to him, the Honorable Minister of Aviation, because it wasn't pushed for that. That was done under his watch. All the while, if we had had ministers with the same perception of a Nigerian force, the country before me, we would have moved further than where we are now in the aviation industry. And I think I commend him for that. Much as we're all human, we have our lapses, but for what he has done for investors, Nigerian-based companies is commendable. Even the catering firms are also commending him for the pushing for foreign airlines to lift catering from Nigerian catering organization, and that's also a nice one because that brings more jobs to Nigeria. So I congratulate Airpeace. They've been looking for the Heathrow Airport for a long time, and now they have gotten it. They are starting in October, but not from Lagos, from Abuja to Heathrow. And I think they must have looked at their plans because the most important that Heathrow is about the biggest airport. You have more connectivity beyond England and beyond London from there. So I expect that they will have look for good partners that can take their passengers beyond London, which is key. Most airlines do not make enough money or get enough passengers by just operating direct a one-point stop and returning. It's the ability to help your passengers to go beyond that point of your arrival that gives you more passengers and increase your revenue. And I think that is the area they use the Heathrow connection to work on. Nigerians are allowed under the bilateral to operate into London and Manchester. And we're also allowed to have 2 airlines on the route. So we will wait for the second Nigerian airline to join Airpeace and make use of the many slots we have under the 21 slot agreement.
Okay, so finally, where do you see aviation safety evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
Aviation safety cannot work in isolation. It's an encompassing thing within the industry. And with the president's auditing, certification, improvement in technology, coordination by different organizations within the regulatory and investigating body, the coordination and recommendations implemented, then you are sure that safety will be improved. Will improve. Again, when you look at the equipment in place, at every point the manufacturers are beginning to improve on the safety aspect, giving more power to technology than man to reduce the incidence of human error. And I think with that and all that is put in place by the different organizations, we expect that safety will continue to improve and not get worse. It has not gotten worse. And if you remember, there was when we were discussing yesterday, you specifically asking that is there any accident that has happened that a recommendation was taken and was implemented and is working with it. And I want to tell you, 9/11, when those guys took over those 4 planes, after that period, they moved for the reinforcement of the cockpit doors. So that nobody would access to the cockpit is now restricted, highly restricted, and that has been implemented across board. Getting to the cockpit now is more difficult than it was in the past. Before you could just open that door, you just do that knob and you're getting. But now those doors are now reinforced and you cannot get aboard.
Thank you very much. It's good to have you on our Aviation Insight. Viewers and listeners, I believe you've actually learned a lot of things. And look, there's a lot of things we're still going to talk about on Aviation Insight. Please always follow us on our social handles on X, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So it's nice to have you here. I believe next time we'll do more again. We'll do more justice
Thank you.
to all these things. So thank you very much, Mr. Olumide or Hunayo. All right, I got it right, sir.
Onwayo.
Onwayo. Thank you so much, and God bless you. So
Thanks
to
for
all my
having me.
listeners and viewers, don't change that dial. Next week we'll have another personality that will come up again and talk about the aviation sector. Thank you very much.